The Grenfell Tower inquiry hears from the man who lived in the flat where the fire started last June. The hearing was told that Behelu Kebede had been terrified about giving evidence and had lived in fear of reprisals. But his lawyer said when the blaze broke out in the kitchen, he did nothing wrong. He called 999 and alerted his neighbours.
It was accidental, and Mr. Kebede bears no responsibility, directly or indirectly, for the fire, its spread, or the dreadful consequences that followed.
We'll have the latest from the inquiry also tonight.
Are you bungling Brexit, Prime Minister?
Under pressure over Brexit, cabinet divisions as the government prepares to set out its plans to avoid a hard border in Northern Ireland. Targeted by hackers, the boss of TSB admits that more than 1,000 customers lost money due to fraud after the bank's computer meltdown in April. And with just over a week to go before the start of the World Cup, the England manager says the team has a plan to deal with any racist abuse.
And coming up on BBC News, Maria Sharapova is out of the French Open, beaten by 2016 champion Garbiñe Muguruza. And will Rafael Nadal make it through? We'll have all the latest.
Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. The public inquiry into the Grenfell Tower fire has heard from the man who lived in the fourth-floor flat where the fire started in June last year.
And you're also looking fine and warm.
How nice. Thomas, thank you. And that's all from us. Now the BBC's news team's where you are. Bye-bye.
I've been in Grenfell Tower since birth. I had both my kids while I was in the tower.
I was lying in bed. I heard my neighbour's smoke alarm.
How is that possible?
You've had no help from the council?
We've had nothing.
Just everybody pitching in, grabbing water, bringing bedding.
This has gone big. The rest of London are watching our community.
Everything that happened could have been prevented. It wasn't.
Outside Source doesn't just report a story, it looks at it from every angle. Live data visualizations help us understand what's happening and what it means. Interactive maps take you from a global view right down to street level. Real-time reporting and reaction from social media means you get the latest as we do. And the BBC's unparalleled global expertise allows us to reality check the biggest stories.
News for a digital world, Outside Source, with me, Ros Atkins.
Tonight at 9 on the BBC News Channel.
Hello there, you're watching BBC News. I'm Clive Myrie. The top stories for you now. And the Grenfell Tower inquiry has heard how the man who lived in the flat where the fire began has been vilified by some in the press and left terrified by possible reprisals.
Whatever the precise cause or origin of the fire in Mr. Kebede's kitchen, it was accidental, and Mr. Kebede bears no responsibility, directly or indirectly, for the fire.
The BBC understands there's disagreements within the cabinet on a future customs arrangement with the EU should no formal agreement be agreed with Brussels before Brexit. And the city watchdog has told MPs there have been around 10,000 cases of fraud linked to the computer problems at TSB. The bank's chief executive says he's deeply sorry. Now, in a moment, it'll be time for Sports Day, but first, let's take a look at what else is coming up tonight on BBC News. And the first of Britain's next-generation fighter jets have taken off from the US and are flying across the Atlantic right now. We'll be reporting from RAF Marham. Crops rot in fields as Britain's fruit farms cannot get the workers to pick them. We'll speak to a recruiter. And at 10:40, my guests on the papers will be the political commentator Jane Merrick and Kevin Schofield, editor of Politics Home. So stay with us for all that. Now, though, it's Sports Day.